Hare Krishna, everyone. We'll start with our weekly session. So let's start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamlam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Satam Sajivam Sadhuvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapt Kanta Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Veshwanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hariye Vancha
Kalptarubhescha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Pajatanam Pavanebhayo Vaishnavebhayo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Shubhadi Charitane
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukam karoti vacharam pangum langate girin yatripatam vande Shri Guru Nityaharanam Paramananda Madhavam Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Gurve Gaur Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So, so does everyone know that God Purnima is coming up on March 28th? Right? Okay. And I know that we are not very familiar with the God avatar of Krishna in Kali Yuga. We have discussed tidbits here and there, but not in detail. And you know that we have a session tonight by His Grace Amog Leela Prabhuji, who will be talking about the introduction to the golden avatar of Krishna in Kali Yuga. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also known as Gauranga or Nimai Pandit, is the Gaur avatar or golden avatar of Krishna in Kali Yuga that happened 500 years back. And we'll get more introduction into the details of the avatar. Some of you saw the little bits and pieces of the movie yesterday, and I shared it in the group. Please finish if possible. That will make the session tonight more lucrative. You'll learn more. But so Nirbhay Prabhu is singing another song about the messages of Gaur Chandra. So let's get started. We'll read the translation very quickly. Okay, so this is only 5 lines, paragraphs. Can the kids read one each very loud? Okay, let's start with number 1. Okay, who will read number 1?
Navya is not there, Mataji. Then somebody
Okay,
else.
you want to start?
Shweta, you think she can read? I forgot her name.
We'll get Navya started. Provision, go ahead.
आरोही
भैया आप आरोही के लिए बोल रहे हैं क्या?
हाँ, आरोही and आरोही, yeah.
आरोही अभी रीड नहीं कर पाएगी, थोड़ी छोटी है.
मुझे इंग्लिश रीड करने आता है.
Okay, we'll get Navya started. Go ahead.
Lord Gauranga is calling. Wake up, sleeping souls. Wake up, sleeping souls. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya?
There you go. Okay. So is Athar there? Athar, go ahead. Number 2.
Number 2.
You have forgotten the way of devotional service and are lost in the world of birth and death.
Okay. Who will read number 3?
Avni.
I have descended just to save you. Other than myself, you have no friend in this world.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Vinita.
I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you are suffering. Take this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vivo.
Haribo.
Okay. Is it Raina?
Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, I fall at the Lord's feet having taken this Maha Mantra.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna. जीव जागो जीव जागो गौरा चंद बोले
जीव जागो जीव जागो गौरा चंद बोले
कोटा निद्रा जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
कोटा निद्रा जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
जीव जागो गौरा चंद बोले
जीव जागो जीव जागो गौरा चंद बोले
कोटा निद्रा जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
कोटा निद्रा जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
भजी बोलिया ऐशे संसारा बितारे
भजी बोलिया ऐसे संसार बितारे
भूलिया रोहिले तुम्ही अविद्यार भारे
भूलिया रोहिले तुमी अविद्यार भारे
जीव जागो गौरा चंद बोले
जीव जागो गौरा चंद्र बोले
कोटा निद्र जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
कोटा निद्रा जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
तुम्हारे लोईते आली होएनु अवतारा
तुम्हारे लोईते आमी होयनु अवतारा
तुम्हारे लोईते आमी होएनु अवतारा
तुम्हारे लोईते आनी ओयनु अवतारा
আমি বিনা বন্ধুয়ারা কে আছে তোমারা
आनी न बंधु आरा के आते तुम्हारा
আমি বিনা বন্ধুয়ারা কে আছে তোমারা
आनी न बंधु आरा के आते तुम्हारा
जीव जागो गौरा चंद्र बोले कोटा निद्र जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
जागो जागो गौरचंद्र बोले जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
श्री अशुद्धि माया औषधि माया नसीब रुलागी
माया नसीबारो लागी
श्री औषधि माया नसीब रुलागी
माया नसीबारो लागी
हरि नाम महामंत्र लाओ तुम्हि माही
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 जीव जागो गौरा चंद्र बोले कोटा निद्र जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
जागो जीव जागो गौरचंद्र बोले कोटा निद्र जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
भक्ति विनोद प्रभु चरणे परिया
भक्ति विनोदा प्रभु शरणे परिया
भक्ति विनोद प्रभु चरणे परिया
भक्ति विनोदा प्रभु शरणे परिया
श्री हरि नाम मंत्र लोयलो मगिया
श्री हरि नाम मंत्र लो मरिया
श्री हरि नाम मंत्र लोयलो मगिया
श्री हरि नाम मंत्र लो मरिया
जीव जागो गौरा चंद्र बोले कोटा निद्र जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
जागो गौर चांद बोले कोटा नेत्र जाओ माया पिशाची रखोले
जीव जागो गौरा चांद बोले
जीव
जागो जीव जागो गौर चांद बोले
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Everybody please unmute and sing the names of Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna Gaur Hari Bol Krishna Gaur Hari Bol
Krishna Gaur Hari Bol Krishna Gaur Hari
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Hari
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baldeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jaya Jagannatha, 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 Bhagavad Subhadra.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Vivo!
Thank you everyone for participating.
Maya.
Okay, so welcome everybody. I think we are blessed to have association from different parts of the world. India, US, I see somebody from Sweden, and then my friend is joining from Dubai. Is there any other international people I missed?
India?
India, yes, India I said. So that is actually very nice because we have I was saying before, we have a very special guest today coming to discuss about Krishna consciousness. It's just the base. Okay, Hare Krishna. I think Prabhuji is here. Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Krishna Vedyo Namo. Hare Krishna. Be bold. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for blessing us with your association today. So this is our small community. We are mostly from Jackson, but we are some of the family members from India and some friends from other parts of the world are also joining to hear from you. So if you allow, can I give a quick introduction about you to everybody? So,
Hare Krishna, I'm so blessed to be in all of your company and feel so fortunate and grateful to all of you. Thank you.
so thank you, Prabhuji. I just wanted to say a few things about Prabhuji. I know that some of us have already been taking classes from him. Some of the kids and other people in the group already know him. But His Grace Shubh Vilas Govinda Das Prabhuji is a very advanced devotee. He's been practicing spirituality from a very young age. And Prabhuji has graciously accepted our invitation to this class today. Prabhuji, from what I understand, from what I know about you so far, I know that you have double initiation. Prabhuji has achieved Brahman Diksha at a very young age. It is a very, very big feat. It is almost impossible in this age of Kali to achieve so much spiritual advancement at such a young age. And Prabhuji received Diksha from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Some of us are familiar with Maharaj. We have heard his lectures, and Prabhuji is one of his disciples. Prabhuji is a grasta, and I'm not sure, Prabhuji, is your wife, Mataji, is joining today as well?
I think she is doing something, so maybe no.
Prabhuji is very busy there. He's a professional, he's a grasta, and he has many, many services that he has taken up. Prabhuji is giving daily Srimad Bhagavatam class to his group of devotees in Tampa. And I forgot to mention he's based in Tampa, Florida, or close to Tampa. and he conducts weekly Bhagavad Gita classes for kids and for adults, separate classes. Plus, he teaches yoga 3 times a week. So that's a lot of preaching services, which I cannot even imagine. It's unimaginable feat. But Prabhuji is making time in service of Guru and Gauranga like that. I think I was also blessed to see one of the yagya ceremonies that Prabhuji conducted at his in Tampa on the ceremony of Gita Jayanti, which was very beautiful to see. So with that introduction, I would like Prabhuji to please shower us with the nectar of his words from his own lotus mouth about the glories of Krishna consciousness, this beautiful process that have been given to the whole world by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, our beloved teacher. Please give us the nectar of this process on how to get started on this path and how to develop more and more faith in this path. Please, Prabhuji, we are very, some of us may be older here, but please treat us like toddlers in front of you. In spiritual path, we are very, very small. So please treat us as such.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much to all the wonderful devotees. I know some of you, and you're all very, very elevated souls, and coming here and trying to share something is certainly an opportunity to purify myself, because our holy scriptures explain that the more we share, it's for our own purification. So I'm so grateful to all of you, Ravi Prabhu and family, Avinash, Abhishek Prabhu's, Murli Prabhu and family, and Tasha Mataji family, and Anita Mataji, and Anita, and I know some of you and some of you I don't know. Puja Kumari Mataji, Shardul Prabhu and family, Sharat Prabhu. Thank you, Neelam Mataji, Yashoda Mataji. I'm so grateful to all of you for taking out your precious time on a short weekend because you slept 1 hour less probably, or the time ran faster this weekend, but still you are so eager to come and hear about Krishna consciousness. So that shows a great sincerity on your part. And whatever Mataji said, I'll not go in detail, because if I try to talk about it, time will go in there only. But great souls like to encourage, and she's like my elder sister, trying to encourage me to practice Krishna consciousness. So taking those words as blessings and those qualities which I should try to develop, we will start. And I was given this topic. I'm going to share my screen also, so I hope I can do that. So I think you should be able to see it now, right? Wonderful.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
And some are not on mute, so if the host can take care of, so that there's, and of course you'll get chance to speak also. So this will not be a monologue, because I don't want all of you to sleep, because often when I start speaking, tendency is that everyone else goes to sleep. So I'll request you in the middle so that you can also read something, and we can all learn from each other, because you all have so much experience, so much wisdom, so much bhakti. So I certainly want to hear your wonderful insights as well. So Krishna consciousness, is it a science? Is it faith? Have I seen God? Can we see God? Who has seen God? All these questions may come in the mind of an inquisitive person, correct? So we'll try to understand this topic from the different holy scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and also in our present intuitive and rational thinking. Because bhakti does not say to stop being rational. Bhakti does not say to stop, become dumb-headed or become dull-headed, or don't use your intelligence, right? His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, one of my teachers, mentions that we should surrender with intelligence, not blind faith. So bhakti is certainly not blind faith. So we'll discuss on all those topics, but whatever we discuss is by the mercy of the spiritual master. So it's very, very important to invoke auspiciousness and seek the blessings of our Guru Parampara before we jump into this topic and start to discuss on this topic. So we'll chant these prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshur-unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanaಭಾಯ Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanitraya Namaste Pankajangriye Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So I'd like to offer my pranams to all of you at your lotus feet. So please give your prayers and blessings so that for next some time I can be empowered by your mercy and the mercy of Guru and Gauranga to speak on this topic, although I don't have any qualification, but by the prayers of Guru and Vaishnavas, even a blind can see, even a lame can cross over mountains. So this is the power of prayers and blessings. So certainly I really need those. Thank you. So there are three ways of attaining knowledge, correct? One is called Pratyaksha Praman, one is called Anuman Praman, and one is called Shabda Praman, correct? So who can tell me, who can unmute and tell, or raise your hand and tell, what is Pratyaksha Praman? Anyone tell? Anyone? Yes, okay, Sampada will tell, yes.
Is it as it is, like from scriptures or like that?
Yeah, it's basically seeing. Okay, I see, oh, it's a pencil here. Oh, it's a pencil. Seeing is believing. Many people say, oh, I believe in what I see. I don't believe in what I don't see, right? Sounds like logical, sounds correct, but has a lot of problem. Anuman means guess. Oh, I think it will rain tomorrow. Oh, I think it will snow tomorrow. Oh, I think the world will end tomorrow. If I keep making these anumans, what will you all call me? This is a crazy person, right? So Anuman Praman, certainly not the right way. I think this is not a pencil. I think this is just a, like some gadget. So if I keep making these guesses, it is certainly not the right way to attain knowledge. And what about Pratyaksha? It may sometimes seem that it's a very good way to attain knowledge, but we will see how this is also not a good way to attain knowledge. What is Shabda Praman? Shabda means words. Shabda Brahman, the words of authority, the word coming from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, the words of the spiritual master, the words of the scriptures. So that's the best way of attaining knowledge, and that is called Shabda Praman. Praman means proof. So let's see the issues with the Pratyaksha Praman. Okay. In Pratyaksha Praman, how are we attaining knowledge? Using our senses, seeing with the eyes, hearing with the ears, or smelling with the nose, etc. But aren't our senses prone to illusion? Correct? Sometimes we see things what they are not, right? How many of you seen mirage, like water on the road? On a dry, sunny road, you'll see water. But is that really water? No or no? No. Okay. Some of you said no. It's not water, right? You see that kind of a reflection, and then senses have, humans have cheating propensities in order to get something. We have seen even in the scientific world, the so-called scientific world, people do a lot of cheating. Plagiarism is one of the common things in thesis, research, PhDs, etc. Right? Imperfect senses. Our senses are imperfect, correct? How many of us can hear dog whistles? Raise your hand if you can hear dog whistle, right? Can the dogs hear dog whistle? Right, that's why it's named dog whistle. That what does it mean? It means that our senses have a range, correct? Our senses have a range of seeing. Our senses have a range of hearing. Our senses have a range. If I read a text which is like just 1.1 centimeter or 1/10 of an inch away from my eye, who all can read that? Can we read that? No. It's so close, still I can't read, right? Or eagles, they can see from 1 mile away up. Can we all see? Who all can see from 1 mile? That shows that our senses also have a range. Our eyes have range. Our all the senses have a range. That's why we need glasses also, right? Because we can't even see even with the eyes. No, not to offend anyone with glasses. I myself have glasses from very, very young age. But the point is that the knowledge attained from these imperfect senses with these 4 defects, will that be the pure knowledge? No, correct? So therefore, we need to turn to something which can give us pure knowledge, right? Let's take some of the examples also, okay, about illusion. How many of you see these lines kind of touching or about to touch? How many of you see inclined lines, right? Lines are inclined, correct? But now you focus on that particular line, it will not appear to be converging because all of these are parallel lines, correct? But they appear to be converging, right? But if you focus on any pair of 2 lines, they will not appear to be converging, but the rest will appear to be converging, right? It's just it's not a video, it's not some magic, it's simple optical illusion, which shows that the senses are not perfect. How many of you see a triangle in here? Right? You all see a triangle? Most of us, yes. There is no triangle, right? It's just a matter of illusion. How many of you have, eaten something sour, like a lemon or something, and then even a thing with a normal taste will appear to be sweet, correct? Or same with if we touch our hands with warm water, and then the normal water will appear to be cold, correct? So it's just a matter of illusion, perception. So material science keeps changing, correct? The books have different editions. The scientific research have different editions. There are so many different opinions. Even with the corona, there are so many opinions. There are so many different vaccines, so many different people say this is good, this is not good. So munne matir bhinne. Everyone has different opinions, correct? And it keeps changing. There is revised editions of books, correct? Or There are revised editions of scholarly articles. Why? Because the knowledge perceived or obtained from these four, from the human beings who are prone to these four defects, like making mistakes, limited range of senses, illusion, etc. So how can we understand perfect knowledge from imperfect senses? Because God is perfect, and the knowledge given by the Supreme Lord is also perfect. But we are not perfect. So we need to approach to someone who is perfect to attain the knowledge which is perfect. Is it perfect? Sorry if it's too complicated, but it will make sense. Now someone will say, well, I don't believe in all these things. I believe in seeing. How many of you believe in Mahatma Gandhi? How many of you believe, right? There was some person. How many of you believe in a place called Alaska? You believe? How many of you believe in your mother, right? Did we see, or let's say, how many of you saw Mahatma Gandhi? But we all have read in our history books, correct? How we got to know about our mother, right? From or our parents, how we got to know, right? It starts with faith. It starts with understanding. It starts with, like, Alaska. Most of us may not have been there, right? But we still believe. Why? Because we have read in the geography books. Probably we have met people, those who have been there. So friends, it's not a question of, oh, do I have faith or not? Because we are putting faith in everything of life, correct? We are putting in faith in everything of life. It's a matter of where do we put our faith, correct? How many of us use some kind of, sunscreen lotion, right? We use some form of sunscreen lotion. And it says, oh, it protects from UV rays. How many of you have seen UV rays, right? But we still use this, correct? Otherwise, oh, I'll get tan, I'll get this, I'll get skin burn and this and that. We use all these, so we are putting faith in every aspect of our life. There are so many, like we drive on the cars, right? All of us use cars to drive on the roads. There are accidents on the roads. But aren't we putting faith in the fellow passengers, in the other people driving on the road, that the truck behind me will not slam my car? Isn't it faith? Every day, 3,700, as per the World Health Organization statistics, 3,700 accidents happen where people have fatal death. That means they die in road accidents, 3,700 people. That's more than 100 people every hour. Can you imagine? So by the time we have been meeting here, it's a sorry to say, but 100 people have died in road accident. And this is not my Hare Krishna number. This is on the Google, right? So I'm not concocting these facts and figures. You can go to and search yourself as well. And these are fatal injuries. These are like death injuries. What to speak of about 20 to 50 million people getting injured in these accidents. Raise your hand if you have seen a road accident somewhere, right? We all have seen. Raise your hand if you stopped driving after seeing it. No one stopped driving, right? That means what? That means you are putting faith even after seeing it, correct? That I will not be that person. And I hope and pray that we don't be that person, because we pray for everyone's sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhavi. We pray for everyone's benefit and everyone's well-wisher. But these things happen every day, correct? How many of you have been to amusement parks? And these are real pictures. These are real pictures. I have not made these up. A lot of injuries happens over there also. Aren't we putting faith? Say yes, or put that thumbs up button if you agree that we are putting faith. In the reaction button, we are putting faith that I'll not be that person, right? How many of us travel in the flights, right? We have traveled at some point, and there have been multiple cases, right? You all agree we are putting faith by traveling? In bus or rail or road, there are accidents in every form, in every aspect. We go to a doctor, a surgeon, do we know what they are doing? I mean, we are unconscious, correct? Aren't we putting faith there? We go to a restaurant, behind the scene, we know what they are cooking. Have they put poison in the food? We are just trusting them. We go to a flight, do we check the pilot's credential? Hey, did you fuel it up? Is it going to land? Or did you just guarantee takeoff? Right? We are putting faith in every aspect. And then, going to a barber shop. Imagine the sharp razor of the barber is so close to the neck. One wrong move, if he wants, he can just chop us off, right? Correct? And cause a fatal injury. There have been shootings in the schools, correct? You all have heard in the news at least. How many of us stopped sending our children to the schools, right? Did anyone stop sending our children to the school? No. What does all that mean? All that means what Bhagavad Gita says. It's not about if we have faith or not. It's about in whom and where do we put our faith, correct? So everyone is putting faith, my friends, in every aspect of life. Bhagavad Gita. Would anyone like to read this? Yes, Avani, Mataji, you want to read this 17.3 verse from Bhagavad Gita?
O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired.
Wonderful. So what does it tell us? That tells us that we are putting faith according to the modes we acquire. The modes of goodness, passion, ignorance. So no one is faithless, correct? And even after seeing, I mean, so many examples I shared, and you all gave a big thumbs up that you all agree with all those ideas, correct? That we are putting faith in every aspect of our life. So now it's a question how to put the faith in the right thing, correct? How can we move our faith from the wrong to the right? And how Krishna consciousness is a very, very scientific method, correct? And this is like a general scientific experiment, right? How many of you have done some form of experiment and you agree with these 6 steps? Okay, where they will read. You agree? Will they read these 6 steps and share what you have learned in your school about this.
So, step 1, you ask a question, and you form a hypothesis, you experiment, you observe and record your results, and you draw conclusions, and then you share your findings with other people. Or so we had done an experiment a few weeks ago in science, and so I don't really remember what our question was, but it was about pressure, and we had to form a hypothesis if the tablet would explode or not. Then we did the experiment and we observed, and it did explode, and we wrote it down, and we drew the conclusion and said our hypothesis was correct because the tablet did explode, and then we just told our teachers about it.
Wonderful. And you shared your findings. And Krishna consciousness is exactly like that. Do you want me to prove it? So that exactly happens in Krishna consciousness, the greatest science, right? The first step is to ask a question, right? Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Who am I? Who is God? Is there God? How can I know him? All these are questions which an intelligent person like all of you, inquire. Tad Vijnanartham Sagurum Eva Vigache. And then we go to the right person to ask those questions. And then there's a hypothesis, right? That Krishna consciousness will help me to get out of the perplexities of life, will help me to solve the challenges of life. And then the teacher, like where they said, the teacher told him to follow a process, right? To do the experiment, there are certain steps to be followed. There are certain precautions to be done. There are certain safety gear. You have to wear some safety glasses. You have to wear apron or things like that. The teacher will tell what you need to do in the experimentation phase, or what is the process to follow the, or to find your, find out for yourself. So sadhana bhakti done under proper authority, under proper scriptures, is like the experimentation phase, correct? So we should be at least open-minded. We should be open-minded in the experimentation phase. And this is free experimentation, right? No one is saying that you have to give millions of dollars to do this experiment, right? No one is asking money. All we are asking is to try it out with an open mind, correct? And follow the experiment. And then you record and observe the changes yourself. You, one who follows this process, the experimentation phase, in the sadhana bhakti phase, under the right guru, under the right scriptures, like all of you are congregating every week, discussing Bhagavad Gita, discussing, helping each other to be Krishna conscious. And I'm sure you will see changes in yourself. What kind of changes? The impurities will go, right? Our bad thoughts, anger, greed, envy, pride, etc., will keep on going down, and divine qualities will manifest. Sarve gunai tatra samasate sura. Anyone who genuinely follows this process will certainly see the right results. Would anyone like to share their observation and record phase? How is it going? Anyone wants to share? Do they feel some difference in the past and the present since they're doing the experimentation phase? Anyone from the Jackson community? I'd love to hear your thoughts. That how you had some ideas or mindset before and now it has, anyone? Yes, Nirbhay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So yeah, we have been, doing this a little bit for a while, but since the last 1 year, we have been chanting 16 rounds regularly, and which we were not doing before. So more than a year now, but it just feels very different. It just feels very, the problems still come, but it helps us be a little bit more to tackle them better, knowing what is the bigger picture. So definitely, Prabhuji, I think this has been very helpful, and in spiritual life as well as material life, in terms of getting over day-to-day hiccups and concerns.
Thank you. That's amazing. That's wonderful observations. Because if we follow the experimentation phase rightly, and then the right results will certainly come. That means if you are, and we will discuss more in detail what is the 5 ways to experiment to improve our sadhana process. How many of you want to know that? The 5 most important ways to improve our experimentation phase. Okay, most of you want, so I'll share that. So others who don't want will have to be tolerant. Okay, draw conclusions. So after that, you will feel that yes, this process is working. This medicine is very effective. I have been trying this for 6 months or 1 year or whatever time, and I can see the difference in myself. And then let's say if you go to a doctor and then doctor treats you very nicely and then you get good feedback and then your disease also gets cured, then won't you share that, refer that doctor to others, your friends also, correct? That go to that doctor only. He or she is very nice and treats the disease in a very nice way, correct? And the same with Krishna consciousness, because everyone is kind of suffering in some way or form. Then we must try to share with others by sharing prasadam, by sharing books, by sharing holy name, by inviting them to programs like these, so that we all can spread that happiness, because the world is looking for it. The world is looking, how can we be freed from those diseases, those suffering, right? And Bhagavad Gita 9.2 mentions, Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Yes, Vinita Mataji, would you like to read the translation for this one?
This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It can be perceived by one's own self. For example, if one is hungry, correct? If one is hungry and one eats good prasadam, then will that person will have to give a certificate to me that, oh, I'm now, my hunger is quenched, right? When your hunger is quenched, do you write a certificate? Now my hunger is quenched. You feel it, right? You feel it yourself. You observe and record. Hmm? I think Anita Mataji was sharing, I think a few weeks back. We want to share like your observation, and since you started the process of Krishna consciousness, how and what changes you feel in your life or in the lives of your kids. Want to share a few thoughts, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. So I think the biggest change I realized within myself is to be yourself, not be withdrawn like into some kind of emotion by somebody else statement or something like that. And the other thing I realized is the confidence. Like when I know myself, I am confident. And Krishna consciousness is also teaching me the honesty with myself. Even though somebody is not watching me, I'm honest, because I'm keeping Krishna in the center. And yeah, so I don't need somebody to watch me. So these are some of the few things that I have realized within myself. And also with my children, I'm seeing that it's slowly coming in. And
Thank you.
I see a big change in them as well. I mean, this is a big change for me.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's one can perceive it oneself. If one is honest to oneself, one will be able to perceive one's change of thoughts, change of consciousness, from materialistic consciousness to spiritual consciousness, from Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana consciousness to Arjuna consciousness, from spiritual blindness to self awakening, right? Because blindness is not just of the eyes, that's a very mild form of blindness. But even though one may have eyes, but one could be spiritually blind. And scriptures explain that's called pashyam api na pashyati, seeing but not seeing. Duryodhana in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, was overcome with lust, anger, greed, pride, and did not want any kind of peace. Same was the attachment of Dhritarashtra towards his children. So they are referred to as spiritually blind. But bhakti opens our eyes. And therefore we chant this prayer, Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The spiritual master, the scripture, the supreme Lord, help us to see things in the true perspective. Help us to put our faith in the right direction so that we can understand who we are, what's the goal of life, and why I'm here. Why things are happening. Why do bad things happen to good people? Right? I didn't ask for this kind of reversal in my life. Why did this happen? What's the higher purpose? But the modern Ravana destroying our faith in the spiritual subjects. So nowadays it's a sad situation that we have more faith in the newspapers, so-called websites, and YouTube, and so many channels are there, so many videos, Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. If I say, oh, Bhagavad Gita says this, then many people will raise with a doubted. But if I say, oh, Harvard Business Review says this, then the Harvard Business Review says this, then it must be true, right? Correct? Raise your hand if most people think like that in this day and age, right? And it's true. I mean, it's okay to be honest, right? Many people think like, why? Because of the Ravana, which is destroying the faith of the seed of faith. It's kidnapping the mother Sita, or which is compared to the Jiva. So let's not get the Ravana of this social media, and let's not read or hear from any Tom, Dick, Harry about spiritual subjects, because they will say their own stuff. Therefore, we don't read Bhagavad Gita. We read Bhagavad Gita as it is, as given by the Supreme Lord, as coming in the Guru Parampara. There are hundreds of Bhagavad Gitas, there are hundreds of articles, thousands of videos, thousands of people speaking. But if we read from any Tom, Dick, Harry, we will not learn about Lord Hari, right? We need to hear from proper Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. This proper spiritual master, proper scriptures under proper guidance. Otherwise, the experimentation will not go correct. Otherwise, the conclusions will misdraw conclusions, and therefore sometimes people misdraw conclusions. They say, well, religion teaches about fighting, religion teaches about violence, religion teaches about division, because they are not doing the experiment under the right teacher. Therefore, the wrong conclusions are coming. They're not following the right guru. So we'll talk about this story maybe at the end if time permits, but if we'll just keep moving for now. The 9 stages of bhakti. Shraddha is the first stage. Shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajan kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhav, and prem. So the first step of bhakti or the bhakti ladder is Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. So faith is very, very important. Now we have already discussed that we are all putting faith. So no one can say I am faithless. It's a matter of where we are putting faith. Correct? You agree with that? Okay, everyone agrees. And it starts with little faith. And this knowledge can only people who have little faith can understand this knowledge. Correct? Because someone, invites, like, this program is open for everyone, right? It's not only open for those who have certain qualifications or those who have certain money or those who have certain background. No, right? This is open for anyone and everyone. But why only certain selected people come? Because all of you have some faith. Bhakti begins with little faith. So that faith is nourished in the association of devotees. So the journey of bhakti starts with faith and continues with association. And then what happened? And then they teach us about the proper experimentation. Correct? That is process of devotional service, like reading, hearing, chanting. And then they'll say, observe. Oh, you will see the observation phase. Anartha nivritti. Your impurities will go. And all this, and slowly one keeps doing it steadily, taste will develop, and ultimately pure love of Godhead will come, and that person will share also. In the 6 symptoms of surrender to Lord Hari, there are multiple symptoms, but the 3rd symptom will focus Rakshishyati iti vishwaso, having firm faith that only Bhagavan is one's protector. Correct? And there are multiple cases. Having firm faith that Krishna is always there with me. Don't fear when Krishna is near. And how will that develop? That will develop again through proper sadhana bhakti. Otherwise, we will get a lot of fear, we will get anxiety, bhama, a lot of hard work, a lot of foaming till the mouth, parishram, fena, bhaya, vyartha. Ultimately, everything goes in vain, and the time the Yamadutas knock at the door, oh, it's mrityu time. That's why this material world is called pavarga. But a devotee has firm faith that Krishna is always there with me. And there are other symptoms also, like she does only things which are favorable for bhakti, reject things which are not favorable. And accepting the Supreme Lord as one's maintainer, a complete submission of oneself, surrendering oneself as a subordinate to the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master, and humility, materially kind of not feeling, oh, I have great wealth, so my wealth will save me. Oh, I'm a doctor. Oh, I'm an engineer. Oh, I have masters. Oh, I have PhD. That will save me. No, nothing will save. Only Krishna will save. Shraddha shabde vishwas ko hai sudrida nishchay. Krishna bhakti koila sarva karma krita hoy. Shraddha is that confident faith, that firm faith, that by rendering transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, Lord Hari, Lord Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. So faith is very, very important. It's not blind faith. It's reasonable faith. Blind faith, rather, we are putting in a lot of things like driving on the road, we discussed, going to a restaurant, going to amusement parks, and so many things we're putting faith. So in the bhakti process, let's not be unreasonably doubtful. Let's be open-minded. We all have heard the story of Mata Draupadi. She was being disrobed in the assembly of all these great kings. She asked for help. First, she tried to protect. Oh, I am a great, I have Kshatriya blood, warrior blood in my veins, so I can protect myself. Her strength was not sufficient. Then she asked for her help from her 5 Pandavas, husbands. They couldn't help. Grandfather Bhishma couldn't help. Teacher Dronacharya couldn't help. Ultimately, she called out, Govinda, Govinda, Gopala, please help me out. Pratigya tava Govinda, name bhakta pranashyati, iti samsmritya, pranam sandharyamiham. Oh Govinda, you have told in Bhagavad Gita, Kontiya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. You have told very boldly in Bhagavad Gita that my devotee will never perish. Remembering this, name bhakta pranashyati. It is samsmritya, remembering this promise of yours again and again. Samsmritya, pranam. I am beholding my life. I'm maintaining my life. Oh Lord, please come and protect me. And did the Lord come? Yes, of course. Did the Lord come in the form of an infinite sari, and the Shasana with his mighty hands could not, was tired because Lord is unlimited, rest all are limited. So same with Prahlad Maharaj. So many attempts were made to kill him, correct? But he had firm faith. Krishna will always protect me. Krishna will always help me. And then he was thrown off from high mountain cliffs. Was he crying? Was he fearful? No, he was only a 5-year-old boy. Imagine the situation. He was not crying, he was not fearful. Why? Mare Krishna rakhe Krishna mare ke. If Krishna wants to protect me, who can kill me? And if Krishna wants to kill me, who can protect me? So he had firm faith, and the Lord Vishnu was there to protect him. Gajendra, the king of the elephant, he had nice time in this lake, and the crocodile caught him. Thousands of years he fought, thinking I can help myself, thinking my family, my wives, my kids would help me out. Ultimately, he remembered the prayers which he had learned in the past life as Gajendra Stuti and called out for the Supreme Lord, offered a flower to him, and with complete state of helplessness, with tears in his eyes, called out to the Supreme Lord, and the Lord came to help him. Like that, there are so many examples, my friend, that when we put faith in the material world, that will not take us anywhere. Faith in the Guru and Krishna, only those who have great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, all the purports of the Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. So that faith is required. Again, it's not blind faith, it's reasonable faith. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj mentions this. To lose one's money, prestige, health, or even life is not such a great loss, but to lose one's faith is the greatest loss. Because when faith is lost, it's not easy to repair that. And we will study how to energize our faith. Bhagavad Gita 4.40 says, Agyascha ashraddhadanascha sanshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham sanshayatmanaha. Yes. Murli Prabhu, would you like to read this one?
Hare Krishna. But ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next.
Thank you so much. For a doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the Next. That means we have to kill the demons of doubt. Therefore, Krishna is addressed in the Bhagavad Gita as Madhusud. Arjuna says, "O killer of Madhu, please kill these demons of doubts arising. I want you to destroy these demons." So again, doubt will not lead us to happiness. That doesn't mean we should not be inquisitive. That doesn't mean that we should not inquire, right? How should we inquire? Who will tell? We discussed recently in our, okay, where they will tell.
You have to ask or inquire submissively and very respectfully.
Very nice. Who knows the verse 434 of Bhagavad Gita? Nobody knows. Yes, please tell.
Tatviti pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina.
Very nice. So rather than having doubtful mentality, we should be inquisitive. We should ask questions to a bona fide spiritual master, but not in a way to challenge, not in a way to check knowledge, but in a way to submissively, humbly inquire. That will lead us to great spiritual success. Faith is the very substance of spirituality. To protect and develop our faith is the greatest need in spiritual life. No amount of study of scriptures, austerity, or charity can help us know God. The only way is to follow the footsteps. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. When we have that faith, when we have faith in that, that faith shows us the way. So beautiful. Now the question may come, how do we develop faith, correct? And as I said in the beginning, I'll be sharing the 5 main processes of experimentation. Okay. If we do these nicely, then you know, there is guarantee of Guru Parampara, guarantee of Krishna, guarantee of all the sadhus and shastras. If we are following these 5 steps certainly and strictly and sincerely, then the right results will come. Of this, there is no doubt. It's like an irrevocable fact. A, B, C, D, E, very easy to remember also. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtana Bhagavata Shravana Mathuravasa Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevana Sakala Sadhana Shrishta E Pancher Anga Krishna Prema Janma E Pancher Alpa Sangha. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Rupa Goswami is mentioning in Nectar of Devotion as well, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Association of devotees. This is the main point to develop faith. If we are in bad association, our faith in the mode of ignorance and passion will grow. If we are in the association of drug addicts, our faith in drugs will go. Very simple. If we are in the association of people who consume a lot of bad things, we will consume. It's just a matter of time. Our faith will start to grow there. And on the contrary, if we are in the right association, like all of you are having these weekly programs, meeting, discussing Bhagavad Gita, discussing Vaishnava songs, etc., honoring prasadam, etc., that will strengthen our spiritual faith. So it's a question of what kind of faith we want to surrender or to strengthen. Association of devotees, very, very important. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Even a moment of association of a pure devotee can transform our lives. The B is for books. The Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam primarily. Very, very important books to read regularly, to hear regularly, to strengthen our spiritual faith. And not just through, and we see examples. I shared so many examples just now. Gajendra's example, Prahlad Maharaj's example, Dhruva Maharaj's example. They're all in the Bhagavatam. So which will help us that if they can do, I can also do. Correct? Even in animal life, a person like Gajendra can do. Isn't there hope for us? Even a wicked monstrous like Putana got Krishna's mercy. Isn't there hope for us? There is hope. This Bhagavatam teaches us. C is chanting, regularly chanting Krishna's holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So some of you are chanting. We have the morning japa program also. You're more than welcome to join. Or you can join, you can just do at your home with your family or alone, however situations allow. Mm. Um, when it's done individually, it's called japa. When it's done in a congregational way, everyone together with mridanga, kartal, and etc., it's called kirtan. Both are important. And chanting is the most important, the yuga dharma, very, very important part of our sadhana bhakti. And then D is for two things: diet, that means prasad. So we have to go to Ravi Prasad Prabhu to get prasadam, right? Because he has prasadam in his name. So prasad means mercy. So Prabhu ke sakshat darshan, prasad. Or it's like direct seeing Krishna face to face. And just 2 days back, Mother Narayani gave a wonderful class about the glories of prasadam. So many examples, so many examples, so many people's lives have been transformed by just taking Krishna prasadam. And if you want to know in more detail, certainly you're encouraged to hear that. And then also deity worship. Very, very important that we have some form of picture or lamination in the beginning. Later we can get the like lamination is also a deity. They discussed the Krishna manifests in 8 forms, but in the beginning we may not be conversant with the rules and regulations, so we can start with some pictures of Gaurnitai or Jagannath and start to offer something. Offer some water, offer tulsi leaves, offer some bhoga, offer some fruits and flowers. That's deity worship. Genuinely offer some lamb, etc. And we will see a great change in our journey, in our spiritual journey. And then entering Vrindavan. Now that means you all have to leave Jackson and go to Vrindavan. How many of you want to do that? Right? We may want to do, but then a lot of ifs and buts will come, correct? What will happen if that will happen? So we're not encouraging that. We want all of you to continue to stay there and make the whole Jackson Vrindavan, right? And how will that happen? If we do all the A, B, C, D, firstly our home will become Vrindavan. Yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tisthami narada. Krishna says, where am I present? Krishna's visiting card. All of you may have some form of visiting card which shows where do you live, what's your phone number, what's your occupation. So Krishna gives a visiting card. Narada Muni, his assistant, gives. Wherever Krishna's devotees come together and chant his name form qualities, he's personally present. And where Krishna is present, what does it become? It becomes Vrindavan, right? So you can be in Jackson, or you can be in New York, you can be in New Delhi, or wherever, Tampa. That place, the home can become Vrindavan by inviting devotees, serving devotees, giving and doing all these A, B, C, D together. The whole home will become a dham. It will not be just a bhavan, right? Bhavan, in Hindi or in Sanskrit also, they say home as bhavan, right? They say bhavan. But the bhavan, the bha is for Bhagavan, where people take, whether the residents of that bhavan take the shelter of the Bhagavan and the process of bhakti and become bhakta. If you take the bha out of bhavan, what does it become? What will it become?
One.
One. And what does one mean?
Jungle.
Forest. And who resides in the forest?
Pasu Pakshi.
Animals. I didn't say that. Right? So all of you got the message. So that means we can make our the true meaning of home by making Bha or Bhagavan as the center. Lord Nityananda Prabhu also says, I have opened up this marketplace, Nadiya Godrome Nityananda Mahajan, Patiyache Nam Hata Jivera Karan. For saving the fallen souls of this Kali Yuga, I have opened a marketplace of holy name. but he's giving to, what is the qualification required? Millions of dollars, PhD degrees, very, Miss World or Mr. World. Oh, okay, you need to be of certain age, or you need a certain color of skin. No. Shraddhavan jana hai, Shraddhavan jana hai, Prabhu Ragyai Magiye Bhiksha. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. Prabhu Ragyai Bhai Magiye Bhiksha. He's chanting, O people of faith, O people of faith, chant Krishna's name, worship him, teach others about Krishna. So only faithless persons. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, don't give this message to the faithless souls, those who have a lot of demoniac propensities or a lot of too much doubts. They will destroy our faith. Correct? So we have to refrain. Part of association also means to refrain from those association which is not good for us, which is not conducive for us. That will destroy our faith. Bhagavad Gita 9.3. Ashraddadana purushan dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu sansara vartmani. Shradul, Prabhu, or any of their family members want to read maybe the translation, and one can read the purport.
Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me. O conqueror of enemies, therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world.
Thank you. Shweta Mataji, you want to read the purport? This is not the full purport, but the important section of it.
Which one, Guruji?
Yeah, here on the right side.
Okay. The faithless cannot accomplish this process of devotional service. That is the support of this verse. Faith is created by association with devotees. Unfortunate people, even after hearing all the evidence of Vedic literature from great personalities, still have no faith in God. They are hesitant and cannot stay fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. Thus, faith is a most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that faith is the complete conviction that faith is the complete conviction that simple by serving the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. That is called real faith.
Thank you so much. So this is real faith, that if we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, the process A, B, C, D, E, everything else will fall in place, right? Everything else will fall in place. We have to have that faith. Devotional service is just like a seed sown in the heart of the living entity. And if he goes on hearing and chanting, basically doing the process of A, B, C, D, E, association, hearing, chanting, deity worship, etc., just as the seed of a tree fructifies by regularly watering, the spiritual plant of devotional service grows gradually. So life is a preparation. This is not some experiments have 20 minutes, some we need to perform for 20 hours, correct? Some we need to perform for 20 days, but this is a little bigger experiment because we are treating a very bigger problem. Because from lifetimes and lifetimes, this problem has kind of overpowered us, the jiva, the forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. So we need to give the right time to the experimentation also. Otherwise, one should not feel, oh, I have been chanting for 2 days, nothing is happening. Oh, I've been chanting for 2 months, nothing is happening. The doctor tells the patient the dose of the medicine and the amount and the frequency also, correct? If the doctor tells that you have to take it for 2 months and the patient comes back after 2 days, it's not working. Well, What will be the first response? Well, did you take it for the right duration? I asked you to, correct? So we have to take and protect this faith by surrounding with good association and refraining from bad association. That means those things, a lot of problems happen in this day and age is because of the social media, correct? Because they see things, oh, my friends, they're having a nice time in the beaches of Mauritius and they're posting picture and they're posting pictures in Switzerland. They may just post that one picture and after that they may have fight, but someone else is kind of envying, oh, look at her, she's going to Mauritius, she's going to Switzerland, she's going to Hawaii, and I am, putting Hawaii chappal, right? I'm she's Hawaii is like a chappal, like a so the point is a lot of problems happen. Oh, this media says that, oh, this says that, the science says there is no God, oh, this doctor says there is no God. Oh no, we don't have to follow. We are not against science, so don't take me wrong. I mean, we are using all these online platforms to associate, right? So we are science in harmony with spiritual consciousness will take us to the right destination. We are not saying that ignore the science. All of you are very educated, devotees, some have, and some are pursuing that. That's absolutely fine. But science should always help us to be more Krishna conscious. So we're not saying to give up education or give up all the scientific things. We use, mobile phones, we use laptops, all of you are using some gadgets to connect to this. This is all good things from science, correct? So, and all the great scientists also, if there are genuine scientists and humble scientists like Einstein and many calculus, they were all great believers in the Supreme Lord, in God. Some of them used to read Bhagavad Gita as well, because even Einstein said that my knowledge is nothing in front of the Supreme Lord. It's like one great scientist said, my knowledge is like a particle of sand on the ocean of beach. And you go to a beach, just put like one finger like this, and you'll get like at least 50 particles of sand, correct? How many particles of sand are there on a beach? Millions, trillions, we can't count. These humble scientists who are God conscious, they say, my knowledge is nothing in front of this. And then finally, Krishna concludes Bhagavad Gita 18.63. I have explained to you more confidential, knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully. Krishna is not saying blind faith. That means deliberate. Try to understand it through submissive and faithful attitude. Don't blindly accept anything. Try it for yourself, right? Take a free sample. That's what they say. Try it for yourself, right? Come for the programs for a couple of weeks. Try chanting for a couple of weeks. Try to follow the process. Try to follow the do's and don'ts, and you will feel. And then you decide. There is no harm in trying, correct? You don't have to. It's not like some money-making scheme, invest $1,000 or $10,000. Not. We're not asking for money. We're not asking for anything. The only intention Prabhupada came to United States was to give this message of Krishna consciousness. So with that, I like to pause, and because it's already little 4 minutes over time, but if we have time, I don't know what's the schedule, we can take some reflections, some questions, or some feedback. If you liked anything, it's certainly from the mercy of the spiritual master. If something was wrong, it's because of my own shortcomings. So thank you so much for giving me this wonderful chance to share the words of Sri Guru and Gauranga with all of you for my own purification. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful session.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna,
much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I
Krishna,
think
Prabhuji.
some devotees wanted to ask questions. I saw Prabhuji, Sahas Thakur wanted to ask a question. They had raised hand. Prabhuji, please go ahead and ask anything.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I don't like you were talking about like the gadgets and phones that you can use. Well, that are good things. What they could be good things if you use them in the right way. Like if you use them in Krishna conscious, they would be good. But if you don't use them in the right way, like let's say you use them to like get into other bad things, then it's not a good. It wouldn't be good for you.
Thank you. It's a wonderful realization. Everything comes with its pros and cons. Yes, it's like the two sides of the coin. So thank you. That's so true. We can make the best use of it, and we can also use it for wrong purposes. Thank you. Any Jackson devotees have any comments, questions? Because others I keep meeting.
Yes, please. Anybody if has any questions? Prabhuji covered an extensive discussion on basics of Krishna consciousness, and we are all very new. So please clarify any doubts with Prabhuji today.
Yes, I have one question, or like rather, I want to know. Very often, like say, first let me put it this way: like, what is dharma? Is Hindu adharma? Is Christian adharma? Is Muslim adharma? And I have like say many questions. I'm not very religious or devotee type of person, but I have this question that definitely I want to hear from someone like you, who has knowledge, who has read extensively, and is kind of expert in this area.
Thank you. What's your good name, Prabhu? I think.
Binay Prabhuji.
Binay?
Yeah.
Binay. Wow, such a beautiful name. Vidya Didati Vinayam. You are so learned and humble also. Therefore, your name is very apt. And so are your children, Vinita and Atharv. They're really very, very sincere. I have been interacting with them for a couple of months now. So thank you so much for your nice question. I don't have any knowledge, Prabhu, but this is all from our teachers, Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. So dharma is said to be the original nature of a jiva. Dharma is said to be like something which cannot be separated from the jiva. And what is the real dharma? Jiva or swarupa also sometimes connected with dharma. Jivara swarupa Krishnir nitya das. Krishnes tatha shakti bheda bhed prakash. That means the dharma is like the dharma of water is liquidity. It flows, correct? You cannot separate the liquidity from water. Similarly, you cannot separate heat from the fire, right? That's the dharma of the fire, right? Can imagine it. So similarly, we cannot separate the servitorship from a jiva, correct? We're all serving. No one can say I'm not serving anyone else. Someone is serving their husband, someone is serving their wife, someone is serving their boss, someone is serving their children, someone is serving dog, someone is serving cow, someone is serving the nation, someone is serving the community, someone is serving someone or the other. Do you all agree with that? Right? We are all serving. So someone is serving Hollywood, Bollywood stars, talking about their katha, what's going on in Hollywood, what's going on in Bollywood, what's a new movie, where is this actress going, what's he doing, what's she doing. We're all serving someone or the other. Now, religion is, or these, what we generally call as dharma, Hindu dharma, Muslim dharma, these are not actually, what we follow is Sanatan dharma. Sanatan means eternal. There is no end to this. All these dharmas like Hinduism and Muslim and Christian and Jews and Buddhism, they came at a certain point in history, correct? Like Lord Buddha came about 2,500 years back. Same with Christianity, started with Lord Jesus 2,000 years back approximately. And but same with Hindu Dharma also. Hindu Dharma is not the Sanatan Dharma actually. It is the Vedic Dharma or the principles of the Vedas. That's called Sanatan Dharma. That's what we follow. And what is that? To serve the Supreme Lord, to understand who is Bhagavan, who am I, and what is the process. That's the real eternal thing. Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhakta. Rest all things are temporary. So this is Sanatan Dharma. To understand our sambandha, that I am a Krishna servant or the servant of the Supreme Lord. What is the abhideya? That means the process. I need to render spiritual service or devotional service, bhakti. Unto whom? Who is that eternal thing? Nitya Nityanam Chitnas Chitranam, that Supreme Lord. Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So this is Sanatan Dharma. This is real Dharma. Because all the other dharmas can be changed, right? One may be Hindu today, one can become Christian, or vice versa. One could be Christian, one could become Muslim. This is not eternal. These are also designations. Therefore, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shuchaha. Give up all these religions. These are all designations. Male, female, rich, poor, US citizen or Indian citizen, black skin or white skin or brown skin or yellow skin. These are all designations. We have to transcend these or become above these and understand our true dharma, our true position. And that is to be a servant of the Supreme Lord. And the word servant, actually, sometimes people think, oh, servant, hey, servant doesn't sound good. Hey, servant, I want to be a master, right? But real, being servant, material world is like a opposite reflection of the spiritual world. In the material world, servant is considered the lowest. In the reflection, the lowest point is actually the topmost point, correct? Do you get this point? So that's a servant, the topmost. In the opposite reflection, it will become the lowermost. The devotee, the servant enjoys more than the master, and therefore Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu comes as the servant devotee to see, oh, my devotee is enjoying more than me. Let me experience the rasa of a servant of Krishna. So, does that help? Or too complex?
Prabhuji, I'm so pleased that you said this, and the way you defined, I hope, say, not only Athar and Benita, but all the kids, kind of take a note of it and try to understand it, that this is what is the dharma, and your definition is kind of perfect. I'm very happy to hear this. I have some more questions that I would like to clarify from you, but I don't know if your time will permit.
I am at the mercy of Nirbhay Prabhu and Natasha Mataji.
Prabhuji, we have more time, definitely. But let's see if anybody else has any questions, any doubts they can clarify. We can hear from Prabhuji all day, but we don't want to impose on him. It's Sunday, no way to go. Ravi Prabhu has a question. Okay, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, all devotees. Prabhuji, today we discussed everything so nicely, but it is like people who have not started will also start. Person like me who have started on a Krishna consciousness path for few years, and I fluctuate up and down, up and down. Recently, it is little bit more reliable and consistent because I think I'm blessed to have a lot of association from you guys and other devotee here. But my question is for me as well as for everybody else who starts, how to keep this going, like maintenance of it, because starting and stopping is a very easy thing. How do one maintain it? Because when there is ups and downs comes in your daily routine, your challenges, So can you please give some tips, because I know you've been doing this Bhagavad Gita for many years and Bhagavatam for many years consistently. And also, I think Natasha Mataji, I think she did not mention, Prabhuji is a full-time engineer. So he has a full-time job and then he does all these services. So I wanted to get some tips. How do you maintain, or how should we maintain this eternal nature to be a servant for rest of my life or rest of our life?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful question. I'm I'm just a neophyte, or very new in this journey, but whatever I have heard from my seniors, I'll just share. So first of all, I'm a continuous improvement engineer. We'll do a lot of lean and Six Sigma things. You may have heard of 5S. Who has heard of 5S? You know the 5S? It's 5S. It's kind of a Japanese methodology, right? In workplaces. I think Vinay Prabhu has heard, right? Some of you may have heard.
Maybe those.
I'll share that formula. So first of all, we have to take sort. The first S is for sort. Sort means we have to remove the non-value added activities from our life. Non-value added activities means things which are not conducive for our material and spiritual journey. And even, like time wasters, right? Time wasters. And I was telling actually in the kids class that kids, this will help you in even your parents may not be aware of this time management principles we are discussing. So I would encourage everyone to see that class also. It applies to everyone. So that means, and actually this deserves like a whole session. Actually, I'll be doing injustice to speak this in 5 minutes, but because there are a lot of things to be spoken. So the first step is to remove the unnecessary things, sort it out, right? Sort it out, get the bad things out, the bad things which are consuming our precious time and energy, right? Then we will have things which are really meaningful to us, correct? We have to set in priority our spiritual life, our health, our family, our relationships, kids. I'm not saying spiritual life means to ignore our job or ignore our kids. Those are value-added activities, okay? Those are important things. We don't have to get rid of those things. Krishna tells Arjuna, a lot of great devotees are in their grihastha life. They have family, they have jobs, they have their business, etc. So we don't have to give up those things. But I know if we honestly ask ourselves, we will find some non-value added activities in our life. Raise your hand if you agree with that idea, that we will find some non-value added activities in our routine, correct? Everyone agrees that there are things which we are utilizing our time, which is not helping on our job, not helping in our bhakti, not helping in our relationships, not helping in our health, correct? Those we need to take out, because time, anyone having 25 hours here? Anyone? 25 hours? Okay, all have 24. Okay, just checking to make sure we're all on the same page. So we have 24 hours only. That means we have to utilize those 24 hours. And some of you are present for Bhagavad Gita. Your friend could be watching a movie and polluting one's consciousness, correct? But time will not stop, right? Time will keep moving. Sometimes it will move 1 hour extra fast, like yesterday night, right? So time will not stop. We have to set, the next S is set in the right order. So set the right things in the right order. Okay, morning time, I'll do this. Plan. The more you plan, the better it will get. And tell your family, this is my time for family. This is my time for my health. This is my time for my work. This is my time for my homework. This is my time for my yoga. This is my time for my, I know it may sound sometimes fanatical, but it will really help. Discuss as a family. Discuss as a family, because nowadays kids also have schedule, right? They have homework, they have projects, they have assignments and classes, and what they're more busy than the parents, correct? So discuss as a family and keep some time as a family also to get together, chant some, bhajan, kirtan, read some Ramayana or Bhagavad Gita. That will really help. So prioritize. You can do a lot of things as a family together. You can go for a walk together. You can do yoga together. You can read Bhagavad Gita together. You can have lunch or dinner together as far as possible. So try to plan, try to do bhakti together as far as possible. So plan effectively, set right things in the right order. These two are the main steps. So if we have a nice plan, and of course, we need mercy also. We need good association. The devotees who are doing it nicely, by taking inspiration from those, by learning from those, how are they managing? What happens when difficult situations come in their lives? How do they handle those situations? So let me try to learn. Let me approach and ask submissively. So if we do these, take off the unimportant things, set a right priority, and emergencies will come. Sometimes the plan will not go the way we would like it to go, but take as a lesson and keep moving, keep moving. We need to recharge our batteries by good association. Like we recharge our phones, otherwise they die, right? So to consistently use that phone, we need to consistently have devotee association also. If we meet devotees just on Janmashtami and expect our spiritual life to go consistently, it's as good as saying, I'll charge my phone once a year, but I want it to work every day. Correct? Doesn't sound like a good idea. That means we have to recharge every day. And these 5 processes will help us to be more consistent, more and more consistent. Does that help? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, anybody else has any questions for
I'll
Prabhuji?
take one last question, I think.
If nobody is asking, maybe Vinay Prabhu, you can ask, you want to ask one more question you had?
If time allows, then maybe I'll ask. And Prabhu is as I said, I'm not very religious person. I do not do puja and everything regularly. I do go to temple, and something makes me feel very, very concerned when say these young children are introduced to religion and everything. There are say different forms. Without understanding, as you explained dharma very beautifully, Hinduism and what is dharma, what is not dharma, a very kind of popular, a pop form of dharma is in practice, and you will see that anyone can chant Hare Krishna, or Jai Sri Ram, and they think that they're following dharma, they're doing dharma. But when it comes to practice, or when you look at them closely, they're doing many wrong things in by doing this and thinking that, oh no, they're doing great. They're trying to save Hinduism, or they're trying to save dharma, following dharma, they're dharmic. Those who are not doing this are dharmic, and creating these perceptions. We talked about labs. We know that say before entering the labs, everyone has to do some kind of theory reading, and then you have to go prepared with proper attire, equipped with equipment. You should know how to handle those equipments. If you don't know, then you will end up burning the lab or harming yourself. Prabhuji, my question is say, how do you suggest this without say following dharma, without deviating it? Maybe say someone is not chanting, it doesn't mean say they should not create this perception that those who are not doing your way of dharma is adharmic or irreligious.
Thank you, Prabhu. That's a very nice question again. And yes, you are right. A lot of wrong things happen on the name of religion and name of God consciousness. But therefore, we need to follow the proper guru, the proper spiritual master. Otherwise, we will end up burning ourselves and others, as you said. And in this society, there is a demand and supply, correct? There are a lot of people who don't want proper guru, who are not ready to accept proper guru. They want a so-called guru who will say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You do all nonsense. You eat what you want. You drink what you want. And just give me some money and all set. I'll take care of this. Then Krishna will arrange for that guru, that bogus guru, or that cheater, not teacher, a swindler, a hoaxer, who will take them to the wrong path. And and the tendency in Kali Yuga is that people don't want to pay the price to get the gold, but they want to get fake gold. Correct? So those people will get more demand because majority of the people want that. Correct? Majority of the people don't want to pay the price of gold. Gold here refers to pure bhakti. But they want so-called bhakti or so-called dharma. And then they will go to bogus gurus, because there are a lot of bogus gurus also, wrong gurus also. So therefore, if it is done in a proper way and we are ready to pay the proper price, and what's that proper price? Not millions of dollars, not any other qualifications. Sincerity, the price of sincerity, the price of genuineness. Then we will appreciate everyone. Like Prabhupada. Prabhupada was never against any religion. He said, Jesus is our guru. Not when a person maturely follows bhakti, that person is a well-wisher to everyone. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. What's that word? Titikshva karunika suhridam sarva bhutanam ajata shatrava shanta sadhava sadhu bhushana. They are tolerant. They are suhrida sarva bhutanam. Sabke suhrid. They are well-wisher to everyone. So they are very, very tolerant. They pray for others' benefit. Prabhupada, when he came, he was not biased. Oh, I will only initiate Indian people or only initiate wealthy people. The audience who came, they were from all different backgrounds, from all different sorts of bad habits, drug addictions and illicit things, etc. But Prabhupada never judged them. Prabhupada gave them the pure message of bhakti. Whether one is Hindu or Christian or Muslim, or one is doing, whatever, if that person is willing to accept the right thing, Prabhupada gave it. And never, true religion, true bhakti will not teach fanatism. And fanatism happens not because of true bhakti, but it happens because, hey, my religion is better. If you don't follow my religion, I'll destroy you. It's because of power, desires, etc. So now the question comes, well, how do we understand? If we genuinely seek out, Krishna says, Prabhupada mentions in this Dhruv Maharaj's purport, if one is searching for a guru like Narada, then Krishna will certainly arrange for that spiritual master in one's life. If one is searching for a wrong guru who wants to give a tinge of so-called bhakti mixed with just material attachment that majority of the people want, then they will get a so-called wrong guru. Now, how do we teach at home? By being good examples ourselves, because children will learn from the example of parents. They are like sponge. They will absorb whatever the parents are doing, whatever the parents are following. Correct? So we need to be a good disciple under a good bona fide spiritual master, follow the process of bhakti nicely, and they will just follow your footsteps. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm so pleased to hear this from you, and this is so nice. And I believe, even I get to learn more from you, these thoughts, beautiful thoughts and everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Vinay Prabhu, you are very, very humble. Vinayam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Such inspirational talk and all those answers. I hope everybody feels inspired to start reading Bhagavad Gita and start chanting and hearing more and more. Does anyone else has any other questions? Any pressing doubts they want to clarify with Prabhuji? Sheetal Mataji is asking something. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. What a wonderful class. Thank you so much. I just had a question in adding to what Vinay Prabhuji and Ravi Prabhuji said. Like when you're pursuing the spiritual path, does one have to give up all the material activities per se, or how do you strike a balance, especially like when children are involved? Like, for example, eating out in restaurants, or, just leaving out activities like if they want to watch any television shows, or so one should just give it up altogether, or should you strike a balance somewhere to make it easy?
Thank you. Thank you for your genuine question. See, the growth in bhakti is very, very organic, correct? What does it mean? It's very natural progression. If one abruptly does something, it may lead to difficulties and not sustained growth. Because we don't want one day do something and rest of the year forget it. We want sustained growth in our lives and in our spiritual journeys as well. And when I was in college in 2007, walking on the roads of Goa, where people go for kind of everything but studies, I went there for studies. so I met devotees, and I asked, well, do you go to beaches? Do you go to play something? They had kind of, they said no to all those things. And they were, just my 1 year senior, 2 year senior. Probably they didn't know at that time how to maturely answer my question. And then some other senior devotees came and they maturely answered my question, which I'll repeat. And my mother said to me also, which I cannot forget, do your best in the present situation. And naturally, the progression will happen. Naturally, the bad things will go out. Okay. And the good things which are good for us, we will continue to accept them more and more. So now this is a very specific question, right? So certainly we have to give up the grossly bad things, right? And that too also slowly. Like for example, we have to focus more on the positive first. That's the main point. Rather than, I say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, because I don't know everyone's journey here. And everyone is a different level. So I would suggest add those 5 items: the association, the books, the chanting, the deity worship, and make your home Vrindavan. And you will see, naturally Krishna will, dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, naturally he'll give the intelligence with which we can surrender unto him more. So it will not be forceful. You'll not say your daughter, hey, give up this because I've been telling you for the last 5 years to give up this. Rather than their positive energy will increase so much that there is no room for negative things. Correct? So that should be our agenda. That's not how Prabhupada gave. Prabhupada focused on the spark. He didn't say, hey, you're doing meat eating, you're doing illicit affairs, you're doing drug addiction. He saw the spark and fanned the spark. He gave, he saw, oh, this person wants to play, bongo. So why don't you chant? So encourage the positive side by chanting, reading, hearing, etc. And naturally, in a very organic and slowly, the good side will keep growing and the impurities will keep going down. So that should be our agenda as well. And Krishna will give guidance also. And if there are specifics, we should maturely handle those. Correct? We should maturely handle those specifics under, one-to-one guidance with our teachers, and how we can help our family and understand them as well. So they should feel that bhakti is a joyful process. It's not a process of negation. No. No, we have to make everything joyful. We have to make Krishna consciousness fun. Krishna consciousness is joyful. So we have to make it fun and joyful and enriching and educating and entertaining, so that they feel so much, wow, I don't want to give up bhakti. I want to take part in drama. I want to take part in this essay I want to write. I want to do some service. I want to learn harmonium. I want to I want to learn dancing for Krishna. I want to make nice cuisines for Krishna. Isn't that joyful? There is so much flavor, there is so much rasa, so much variety. Then, will I worry about my old TV show which I used to watch? No, there is higher taste. The higher taste will naturally overcome the lower taste. Vishaya vinivartante. I'm forgetting that. That take this higher taste and the lower taste will be able to give that up organically and naturally. And I've seen that in my life also, in college, all the bad association and things which are not conducive, they just naturally went away. Not because my teachers told me, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And it's not, look at Prabhupada's disciples' life, hippies to happies, correct? So many changes naturally because there is so much higher taste in bhakti. Is that okay? So focus more on the do's, focus more on making bhakti a fun and entertaining and educating, enlivening.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, this was you were trying to say, Vishyavini vartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasoapyasya param drishtavani vartate.
Very nice. You want to read the translation of this, Prabhu, please?
The English, Hindi mein hai, la beta, English la. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Thank you. So apt, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thanks for taking out time for and giving us your such valuable association and the wonderful talk and answering so many of our questions that bother us in day-to-day life. And thank you to all the devotees also for listening and asking such wonderful questions that benefit everyone listening and to the answers of these by His Grace Shubh Vilas Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. All the references from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the real life examples. I hope everybody followed it. It was very, very nice. Amazing to hear from you. Wonderful experience. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Just on behalf of our Jackson devotee team, let's everybody unmute and say thank you to Prabhuji by saying 3 times Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Can we also loudly chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time, please?
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So I think for Jackson devotees, we like to do a one round of congregational chanting together. Please stay. But we'll just do our one round of chanting as our routine.
So whoever wants to say, please stay on for one round of congregational chanting. And thank you very much for Shubh Vilas Prabhu.
I'll stay on, Prabhu. Don't want to miss all of your association for chanting, if you allow.
Sure, so that'd be wonderful. Thank you, Rohi. That will benefit from it.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, let's start chanting. We'll start with so those of who are new, we always start with the Krishna bead and we say Prabhupada Pranam Mantra and then the Panch Tattva Mantra 3 times. It's on the screen. Please. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna
Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pashteshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama Vishpada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
ऊपर वॉलेट लावणी पर्स लावणी भूली गई
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
ऊपर
Hare,
है ने
Hare
एक
Ram,
माला भी लेती आज
Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
thank you everyone for the great association. I think Prabhuji left, so I hope everybody enjoyed and some of the doubts got clarified. So next Saturday, can we plan the class for next Saturday instead of Sunday? Some of the devotees are not able to make it for Sunday. Is that okay? And
Saturday 9 a.m.
And we're changing the time a little bit because the time here in Jackson has changed, or US has changed. So, so will it be convenient if we changed time to 9 o'clock?
Central time. For India, it will be the same then.
Yes. But no, for India, it will be 7:30
p.m. Okay.
Absolutely fine.
Prabhuji, your dinner is done by that time. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. So, okay. So we'll change to 9 a.m. CST Central Time and 7:30 India time. And just for next time, we'll do it on Saturday. But typically, we'll just do on Sunday. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you everyone.
Vanchakaltarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Gurvegar Chandraya
Adipaya Tadale Vivaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.